Warning! This video contains very heavy Warframe spoilers. If you have not done the War Within quest, please give this video a skip. Hey, it's Jally. I know a lot of you are waiting for me to move through the story and hoping to see more reactions or commentary on the quests that have some huge lore dumps here in Warframe. I did complete the War Within, and I have several things to say about it. In fact, by the time you're watching this, I've already completed the sacrifice and I'm well on my way to the new war. But let's talk about the War Within first. Unlike the second dream, I didn't feel like the War Within was some emotional gut punch, so I didn't do a lot of reacting to it. Now, there was some great story thrown in through the questline, and I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it. I think I saw a lot of the War Within for what it is. It was mostly a way to show you how to properly play your operator, and as you learned that, you also learned a lot more story about the Tenno, their history, and some things about the Orokin as well. I will admit there were parts of the quest where I had to find out from YouTube how to do it, especially the way to properly void sling across the room and keep the Tenno-eating snake from going after you. I was jumping from just one rock pile to another, thinking that was how you were supposed to do it, and it's not. You actually get to jump some pretty far distances with Void Sling, and you skip plenty of rock piles along the way. I didn't realize that at the beginning, then I figured it out, and then I checked some things on YouTube. So by the way, for those of you making quest walkthroughs, for us newbies that sometimes might get a little stuck, thank you. We love you. You have made our experience so much easier. I did enjoy the lore dump for the Orokin. There have been a lot of questions I have about them, and I'm finally starting to learn more about who they are. I can see this story is shaping up to be a very dark one, especially after seeing what my operator went through in the Void. That was rough. That part was hard. To really understand what those kids went through while they were aboard the ship still, that part was a little rough, I will admit. But the final teaser in the questline tells me I'm going to be learning a lot more soon enough about the Orokin. Teshin was really cool. I was introduced to him in the second dream, but we didn't know much about him in the second dream. Finding out more about Teshin, who he is, and watching his character develop was really great. My dude is harsh, but he cares about the Tenno. He's kind of like that, retired military uncle who tells you, rub dirt on it, builds character. Like, that's the feel I get out of Teshin now. I did enjoy what we saw of Ordis. He is becoming more of his own character, and showing a little more emotion. Ordis does provide comic relief, and I love that aspect. I also love Ordis kind of being part of your tutorial at the very beginning. But now, Ordis clearly cares about the operator, and you're seeing more of that. Some of his comic relief in the War Within is actually an attempt at helping the operator feel better. Now, I know that Ordis is a Cephalon, and I don't know if they have emotions or not, but Ordis kinda seems like he does. The one thing that I loved about the questline that didn't really need a reaction, but this was the major standout for me, was not really the fact that you learned how to use your operator, but it was seeing the operator come into their own. They're becoming more of a central character with a personality. And the best part about it is, they're still a teenager. Obviously, the operator has a ton to deal with, and despite that fact, they're still a teenager, having spats with their mom. I really liked the little rebellious moment against Lotus when the Tenno decided to do what they thought was best. It made the Tenno feel more like, well, a normal teenager, other than this overly traumatized thing that sits in a chair all the time in your orbiter. To be frank, before this point in the story, the Warframe was a lot more personified than the Tenno, which I was confused about what a Warframe was. As I said, I have finished the sacrifice, I now know that answer. And whoo, that one's gonna be something. But anyway, the operator just sitting there like that was a little unnerving for me for a while. I wanted them to get up, to move, to be something. I was kind of afraid I would have this vegetable in my orbiter forever that had no further character development. That did not happen in the War Within. In the War Within, we finally got to see the operator make their own choices, be their own person, have a personality, develop part of their backstory, And through that entire thing, you were also learning how to use them, knowing, hey, I'm going to be using my operator in the future, which is super cool. I'm really glad that we were handed this whole other aspect of gameplay in The War Within. So no, I didn't love The War Within, but I did like it, and that's okay. I don't have to go nuts over everything that Warframe does. It was an enjoyable questline. I had fun with it. Now, like I said, by the time you've watched this, I've already finished the sacrifice. In fact, I'm actually doing that necromech grind right now to get to the new war. The next video is going to go more into the sacrifice, at least the beginning part of it. And this may be the first time I'm actually handing Warframe some criticism through most of the video. Makes me kinda sad to do that, because I've been pretty in love with Warframe until now. Don't worry, I am not quitting. Nothing about this broke the game for me. It was just something that I felt like was a big oversight. It wasn't game breaking or anything else. I mean, really the only thing that could be game breaking is if every mission in the future was a spy mission. The War Within though, solid 7 out of 10 from me. But there's one thing that made The War Within awesome, and that's this. Oh, come on, you expect nothing less from me.